Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fitness Education Series produced by the Australian Fitness Academy. It's like progressive overload for your brain. I'm your host, Tom Rock, and today's episode, I want to talk a bit about programming. So I haven't touched on programming too much lately. We delved into a little bit last week when we did the Expo episode, and I was talking to people about what their program split is and sort of their training goals, which was really, really cool. And that always gets me thinking about programming and program styles and how important it is to individualize your programs based on your clients or their training goals um, or their lifestyles. And I think that's a big one. So I want to keep today's episode relatively short, but I wanted to build into next week's episode where I want to discuss more in depth about program creation and look at how I would go about designing a program from scratch and then putting it in place based on some goals that me or a client or an individual would have. But I think to get an understanding of that and what a good example of a program would look like for you listeners, what I want is for you to get in touch. It can be as easy as commenting on the episode podcast. Just put a comment below, or you can email me at tom@afa.com.au. And what I want, you can give me as much or as little detail as you want, but how many sessions do you do a week? If it's a split program, is it upper, lower? Is it full body? And how long do you spend in the gym? So basically, how often do you like to train? Is it twice a week you train? Is it 4 times a week? Is it 5 times a week? You can put in as much or little detail as you want. Cardio and resistance, or your main focus resistance, that's fine. But if you're looking at, say, an overall program for, say, body composition change or muscle gain or fitness, what's your current program and how often do you like training? Bare minimum, if I can get as many results on how often you like to train per week, let's say it's in the gym or running, like a combination of any training session, whether it's resistance or cardio. If you do 2 resistance and 2 cardio, that'd be 4 training sessions per week, and how often you do it. Because I think that's an important thing, especially if you're putting or trying to fit or build programs that are relevant for a large population. Making it doable is important. So there's no point in me writing programs that say you need to be in the gym 3 times a week and doing cardio training 3 times a week. If a person has a very busy lifestyle, they've got lots of commitments, and I'm expecting them to run 6 exercise sessions a week. If that's not realistic for them, there's no way they're going to stick to that long term. And I've talked a lot about consistency previously and how important that is. It's better to have a program that someone's going to be consistent at. And that will generally come down to initially the frequency and the expectations around how many sessions they're going to have to do per week and how they can fit them in to their schedule. So would love to hear what you guys do, or if you're currently a trainer and a coach out there, PT, what's your most, popular or most prevalent in terms of clients? How often can your clients train, whether that's with you or with you in a combination of their program? How often do they generally find they can get to the gym per week? Because I think that's the big task. So then what I want to do, I'll build on program and talk about program structure, a bit more on periodization, because I haven't done periodization for a long time. There's a great episode that I did relatively early on periodization, which I'll put a link to in the comments as well. Have a listen to that. But touching on how we build program blocks and periodizing different focuses into a program and why we might do that. So why would I have a different focus for this 4 weeks versus the next 4 weeks and then the 4 weeks after that? And in what ways does that benefit me moving forward? So I'm looking to do a couple more episodes on sort of program creation and developing a program. So if you do have any, obviously send through that content on how often you train, just so I can get a gauge of how often everyone trains. What is the general consensus or a common amount of sessions per week? But also, if you've got questions on exercise selection, weekly training blocks, periodization, sets, reps, volume, anything like that, whether it's cardio or resistance training, feel free to send an email to tom@afa.com.au or comment on the post as well. Happy to, and that way I can sort of build in all these answers and queries and topics into the next couple of podcasts as we look to dive into a bit of program creation stuff because we haven't really got in depth with that lately. So I'd love to sort of get a few more program examples out there to show you guys how I think about programming. But would love to get your thoughts on initially how the program comes together, and that way throughout the series I can answer any questions or cover any topics that you guys would like to hear about, or see how I implement or see how I apply these principles to a program creation. But yeah, hopefully this episode gets you started on thinking of those lines. Consider your program, how often you train, exercise selection, program balance, structure, all that sort of thing. Shoot me an email, leave me a quick comment. Let me know what your general program's like. And that way I can sort of pull it all together in the next few podcasts, and we can see where these program discussions go. And in the end of it, hopefully, we'll come out with a good idea of what a program could look like, but also some idea of how I apply some of this theory for a certain situation or program, which will help you sort of apply it to different cohorts and different populations that require different programs, and then how to apply it so each program can be individualized so each client can get the best results. Anyway, just a quick little episode to get your mind thinking along those programming lines. I look forward to hearing from you all. Definitely please take the time, take a minute, drop a comment. Would be much appreciated. But other than that, guys, enjoy your nice long weekend this weekend. If you're in Australia, Easter weekend, have a great one. Fit in the time to comment and reply to the podcast. That'd be amazing. But looking forward to delving into all stuff programming next week, guys. So look out for that one. And that, guys, have a great long weekend, and I will talk to you all soon.